You can learn a lot about an incoming president by the kinds of people he surrounds himself with as he fills the top jobs in an incoming administration. It's hard to know exactly, though, what we're learning about Donald Trump by the kinds of people he's considering or has already put into top national security jobs. I think maybe what we're learning is that there's no hard, fast, clear worldview, according to Donald Trump, but rather a variety of different thoughts and impulses. And that can either be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. Some of the contradictions are borne out in the kinds of people that Donald Trump is seriously considering putting in top positions. Mitt Romney, who's a top choice to be Secretary of State, for example, is on record as having said Russia is the #1 geopolitical foe of the U.S. But General Mike Flynn, who's going to be the National Security Advisor, is equally on record as saying the U.S. ought to be working with Russia to try to combat Islamic State threats in Syria in particular. Donald Trump himself has been a staunch opponent of the war in Iraq, saying it was one of the biggest mistakes that the U.S. has made in recent history. But he's also considering for a top job John Bolton, who is an equally staunch proponent of that war in Iraq. So maybe this tells you that there's not a coherent Trump view of the world, and maybe that's a recipe for later infighting among advisors who come from different points of view on some of these key subjects and who don't have some North Star to guide them as they make decisions. On the other hand, maybe it tells you that Donald Trump is simply going to be a pragmatic decision maker, somebody who's not guided by partisan loyalties or by ideological points of view. Maybe that produces a better set of decisions. In any case, I think we're going to have an interesting time as this national security team comes into place and they get quizzed in confirmation hearings about some of these difficult issues.